Alright, good day, ladies and gentlemen, and we've tried to do something about how dark it is in here, but it's always dark in here. In any event, we are here to play some Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon. And I gotta tell you, ladies and gentlemen, this is a game that took me a long time to actually play, unfortunately. I really quite dislike Uplay. Never could get that bloody crap to work right. But I finally did, and I finally can play this absolute classic. Earth, I thought it was Mars.
In the near future, at the end of the 20th century.
Oh, I totally remember that happening. Oh, I love these retro futures now. It used to be that's what everybody thought was going to happen. There's going to be some giant atomic apocalypse. And hello, atomic Chimoa. That guy must have been made of sort of stuff because he wasn't turned into a skeleton. This is one of the most 80s-ish / 90s-ish games I've ever played. It's beautiful, if a bit easy in places.
Radioactive ashes of North America. A new breed of soldier is reborn.
Oh my god, it's a cyborg! Oh wait, John Claude Van Damme is in this. Also, you gotta love the music that sounds almost Terminator-ish. See, I've always thought that cyborgs were pretty cool. I mean, I don't think I'd want to be cyborged. In fact, when you think about it, like, what kind of software are they putting in there? You know, there's no way for you to know. And hello, Ross Dude. Also, I really quite like... Oh, there was a little $6 Million Man sound effect there. Now, what's kind of funny is a lot of people probably don't even know who the $6 Million Man even is. It's one of those deliciously cheesy 70s shows that you can only really watch in short bursts. Mark IV, oh my god! Although the OS is pretty crap though.
Cyber Commando.
And he uses the direct operating system, or disk operating system rather. See, like, the one robot arm sounds cool, but still, why have one when you could have two? And even though we're in the space future, we of course have Black Hawk helicopters.
Me?
Well, it ain't me, because I'm goddamn near perfect. Men wanna be me?
And you wanna be with men? Yeah.
You know, yeah, that could totally not be put in a... That could totally not be put in a game today, because you know people will be like, that's offensive. Also, by the way, sleep is apparently racist now. I do data entry. It's boring, but fun. And yeah, RoboCop, you know, he initially is looked at as property, then he's back to being a human, then in the next movie he's like property again. I don't think that would really work, even in that kind of bad future for RoboCop. Because, let's be reasonable, if he is intelligent enough to be considered human, yeah, I think something's gonna end up going to the Supreme Court in that universe, although, considering what our Supreme Court is doing in this universe, I can't really imagine it would go well for him. Okay, I had to turn off the music because I know this would get copyright flagged for the song that's on here. Now, the song that's supposed to be playing right now is Long Tall Sally by the now deceased Little Richard. The song itself is pretty catchy, but if you actually pay attention to the lyrics, holy crap, how did he get away with that back in the 50s? Because the song is all about a guy going to get a prostitute. Because if you listen to the lyrics, Long Tall Sally, everything she got, everything that Uncle John need. It's like, well, okay, so Uncle John, not me, is going to get a prostitute, and he'll jump back in the alley, so people can't see him with the prostitute. So yeah, he's gonna have some fun tonight. So, oh dear, how he got away with that back in the 50s, I have no idea, no clue at all. It's like, it's a very catchy song, but oh dear. That's like something you'd hear from a song today.
Shut us down now.
Oh yeah, sleep is racist because, some vaguely defined reasons.
And I'll provide the distraction. Let's show them how cyber commandos get it done.
Ah, Michael Beanbine. Oh, it's a classic. I like the very minimalist cutscenes, though. They just fit so perfectly. There's more personality in that 2D sprite than in all of a COD game. Or at least a modern one. He's got Roborokov's pistol. And of course, a purple knife. So I guess this is what really kicked off the whole retro wave thing. I'm glad I waited till 2020 to play this game because, you know, it's well worth the wait, and finding a good game like this is not easy. It's been pretty great, Ross, dude. Although finally, I get a weekend, so, or I get a day. I get Sunday finally. Oh, I absolutely love this part because it's hilarious.
Oh, you fucking asshole.
Oh, it's beautiful. Demonstrate your... This is what everyone feels like. Although, it is both actually annoying and ironically annoying. Oh god, come on. Yes, you know... To look around, look around. It's like, come on. Hurry up, goddammit. Yeah, you can go straight in the bin.
Why?
Why indeed, Rex Power? Why indeed? Of course, back in 2013 when this came out, this was very on the nose. Things have gotten a little better these days. A little better, although not by much. And we're gonna stab our little cyber ninja. I think these cyber ninjas are a reference to... oh wait, so I'm gonna use my space eye. It looks oddly like a camera and has the Predator sound effect. Oh yeah, and we gotta use the D20. Hey, D20 is not nerdy. Now a D100, now that's nerdy. Those exist. And we're gonna perform stabby stabby.
Spider, these guys are Omega Force.
Omega Force, oh my god, and we're gonna steal it. The only problem I have with this game is you have to pilfer these cyber hearts to get money, and it takes forever. It's like, just let me get money, goddammit. Yeah, it's like real life. Saints Row 4. I don't know if I don't really see that. Saints Row 4 is very different from this. Actually, no, I take that lie back. I was thinking of Saints Row 3. Yeah, Saints Row 4 does kind of look like this, in some respects. Chain takedown! Oh my god, we got purple. And we got... Why his body just flew up, I'm not entirely sure. Now, our main objective today is to try to unlock the plasma rifle. Because once you unlock that, you are basically the avatar of Korn. All you need is that plasma rifle, and all you got to do is kill one of every animal. It's kind of like Moses, where he got one of every animal and beat the crap out of him. You know, I make that joke despite having played Team Fortress 2 a grand total of once. Oh god, just hurry up, god damn it! Yes.
I fucking hate tutorials, and this one is terrible.
No, it's not that bad. It could have been a lot worse. It could have been worse, Rex. It could have been a lot worse. The Phasertron. And of course, we've got a red dot. Now, as you would expect, you end up losing your weapons after this initial tutorial. Which kind of sucks, but it does allow you to basically progress. Just look at this. Look at this. Just one hit from a plasma rifle to the head. It's like, why do they even bother wearing those bloody motorcycle helmets when they don't work? Well, then again, real helmets don't work that well either. And the cover-based shooting in this works pretty well. But yeah, that's one of the things about the 80s future. It was all oddly still analog, and nobody ever really figured out that the smartphones was going to be a thing. Now, it used to be, they were like the early 2000s future, and I wonder if there's an equivalent today for like what the 2030s future is going to be like. Because the early 2000s future pretty much came true. Because one of the early 2000s future books that I read, that was actually one of my favorite books of all time, definitely an Alpha Prime book, is The 10th Planet by Dayton Ward. Dayton Ward is actually a Star Trek writer who wrote a bunch of random science fiction books that have sadly kind of been forgotten. But the 10th Planet is a trilogy of books that I actually have 2 in e-form and 1 in and 3 in paper form. Basically, there's a 10th planet that is a rogue planet that harvests Earth for energy every 2,000 years. And the novel is set, I think, in 2020. Or it could have been 2030, but basically, it's got to be 2020. Because it's not advanced enough for a 2030s future. Basically, in that book, the 10th planet attacks an Earth that has kind of the technology we have today. They got like wrist computers and shit like that. But it did not actually predict the rise of social media. I don't know if anybody could really predict that, because that is something that was that kind of just came out of nowhere in many respects. Holy crap! There's the chat. And I have been well, badonk. Warhammer 40k, tried on war, fan base. Oh yeah, 40k. And let's see. As for Space Marine, when it ended with a QuickTime event, yeah, but I actually didn't mind that QuickTime event. QuickTime events aren't actually a terrible thing if it can't be done, if you can't have a final boss fight that's cinematic enough. Because there's only so many things you can do with the Space Marine gameplay. The Space Marine gameplay is just a third-person shooter. So you're not going to be dodging and jumping around like you would in, you know, like Dark Souls or something like that. So your choice of boss is going to be fairly limited. It's like, are you just going to have a big boss that shows up and you run in a circle and shoot him? Or do you beat the crap out of a Chaos Sorcerer as you fall from a giant tower? Which one sounds more awesome? Now, in all reality, you know, yeah, it's a QTE, but I understand why they did it. Oh crap, where is he? I wasn't paying attention, though. I was busy talking about that. Dawn of War 1, if you've never gotten into 40k, that is a good gateway drug enough. I'm not sure what the best introductory to 40k other than that really is. Outside of just reading a book. If you want a good gateway book, just introduce them to the Cyphus Cain books. Because those are pretty damn good, and they're not as baroque as some of the other 40k books are. And Cain is an absolutely memorable character, mainly because he's just sort of a regular guy versus being, you know, like some sort of super warrior. And I should probably get some cover. Remember, kids, use drugs if you feel bad. Wait, no, you probably shouldn't do that. I love how his chain gun just disappears. I'm actually reading a book right now that's not part of the 40k universe. It's a rando science fiction book by Chris Nuttall that's set in an Imperium, and the main character is kind of like Cyphus Cain, but is more of a secret agent kind of thing. It's surprisingly a good book. It's got basically Space James Bond that goes around the galaxy trying to save the Imperium, not of man, but just an Imperium in general, with 2 hot Japanese chicks. It's surprisingly good. Initially, well, according to the author's foreword, Nuttall wanted it to be some sort of shared universe, but nobody cared enough to actually make it a shared universe, so, oh well. I guess it wasn't that popular. But I quite like it. It's a nice change of pace from just constant military science fiction from Nuttall. An expensive taste in accelerants, eh? It's like we got ethanol over here. Okay, there is Spidrax. I remember this being somewhat difficult when I first played this, because Spider there has the self-preservation skills of a dodo. By which I mean none at all. Alright, let's just try to blast these bastards. Really, like in real life, the intermediate plasma rifle works really well. And we're gonna stab him. Oh, I thought that would stab him. Instead, we just blew his head off, because that's just what we like to do. Also, you gotta love how the plasma rifle is mag-fed, and on top of that, the mag-fed plasma rifle uses Tapco mags of all things. I'm not really sure why. It's not saying that Tapco mags are terrible, but you think in the future we'd have something a little bit better. Now, Dayton Ward also wrote another science fiction book, duology, called The Last World War. I'm not really sure why he picked that title. I swear that's got to be like a publisher's chosen title, because it's not a world war, and it's certainly not the last, because there's 2 books. But it's where a bunch of aliens invade through some random portals, and early 2000s humanity has to fight them off.
Let's find that main
I have not read it in probably a decade, but I can still remember that at that point, the Army National Guard was still using 60s era radio equipment. It's like, that is old, to say the least. And thank you, David Jacob. And I appreciate that, because, yeah, Google does like to take quite a bit of money, because, well, they're basically modern-day Weyland-Yutani.
Last I heard, we were still using them. Testing
Let's see.
up in the Canadian
The Kane novels, well, they're collected in omnibuses now, or omnibuy. You've got Hero of the Imperium, Savior of the Imperium, and another one that I can't remember. I cannot... Basically, it's all of the Imperium. That's the best way to look at it. The best Kane novels are Death or Glory, For the Emperor, Traitor's Hand, oh, what's the last one? And Kane's Last Stand. Those are the best by far. They're not in any sort of sequence, so you can just read them out of order. Death or Glory actually came out after Traitor's Hand, which for the longest time was the latest the latest Kane book in the series. The one that takes place the furthest along in the timeline is Kane's Last Stand. But you can still technically just read that first if you wanted to. Although you probably wouldn't, because it takes place when he's like 200 years old. Let's see. And yeah, plasma cartridges. It's plasma cartridges. The big problem with... I think I'm supposed to be doing something, but I wasn't paying attention.
Objective complete.
Oh, I had to literally walk 3 steps forward. Brilliant. I like the more directed... Wow, just kind of sliding in there. That's one way to keep the budget down. I like that the Far Cry 3 games have much more direction, or the Far Cry 3 era games have much more direction than Far Cry 2 did. Far Cry 2 just felt like it went on and on and on. It just got really boring. Let's see. Yeah, the woke crowd is trying to infiltrate the Warhammer 40k community. You know, they want female space marines and stuff like that. I don't really have that big of a problem with female space marines. It's like, when you add on, you know, another gender to a faction, you know, like 20 years after the fact, it's like, why? And technically, they already have some female space marines called the Sisters of Battle. If you wanted to have, what, I can't even think of the word now, representation in 40k, all you really got to do is just say, oh, we need to make the Sisters of Battle even more powerful, let's genetically augment them. The Fistjack, oh my. Just do that, you know, but I bet they're not going to do that. I bet the female space marines will be even better and blah 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 blah. I don't know, we'll see. The woke is insane. The wokeness is insane. Let's see here. And I've never actually played 40k, the tabletop game, ever. I've never even seen it played, to be honest. I went into a Games Workshop shop a grand total of once. The only tabletop games I've played to date are, actually, I've only played 2. He's through the Ramport. He's got like 256k, man. Let's see, where was I? I'm busy trying to shoot that guy with his bicycle helmet. I swear I'm getting frame drops. And I'm not sure why. This is a game from 2013. It's one of the things I love about Doom. It's that you can just constantly view... Oh crap, get out of the way. Get out of the way, you idiot! No!
I'm recoding the CPU socket.
Why are you recoding the CPU sockets? Why?
Rush protection, baby.
It's Intel. Why would you need something better? Oh, wait. But yeah, the only 2 tabletop games I've ever played are Settlers of Catan. I played that a grand total of once and lost back. No, I played 3. Each one time. Settlers of Catan, which I found to be fun enough, but died pretty easily. Then I played Batman Escape from Arkham, which was a tabletop Arkham City game, which was interesting. One player played as Batman, and one player played as all the villains.
Objective failed.
Epic failage.
Pre-launch checklist complete. Coordinates uploaded.
Spider, focus, Lieutenant. What am I supposed
Just slide in there.
Shit, Hilo 7-3, requesting immediate evac. Lieutenant Brown is
See,
down.
I'll check that real quick.
Kilo 7-3, inbound. Rex! Too much information!
He downloaded Wikipedia by accident.
Blood!
Decapitation strike countdown has begun.
Tell me what to do.
Well, I have heard that the 40k rule set is rather complicated.
The control plate!
So, screw your rules, I'll make my own.
What?
Out the ignition controls!
Let's see.
Control box!
You know, that's a hard thing to choose. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that name. Armor or Starship Troopers? I liked Armor more than Starship Troopers because Heinlein had a problem of constantly just... It felt like he was just kind of lecturing the reader, whereas Armor, it felt more like an actual novel with characters and plot. Starship Troopers still had characters and plot, but you could definitely tell that Heinlein was, like, well, lecturing everyone, as he was wont to do. No, which is not a bad thing, but it just doesn't make for the best of novels. I need to reread Starship Troopers. Oh crap, I'm so dead. I swear there's a frame drop. See, when you're a true PC gamer, you're always worried about frame drops. Oh crap. Right over here. Oh, literally I just had to walk over here. Brilliant. Or just kind of slide over there. Tyrant Codex. I actually did a review of half of that Starship Trooper anime with Raynick, and it was pretty good. My copy of Starship Troopers actually has the poster for the movie as the cover. It's a very different beast from the movie. The movie itself is not bad, but it very much is a bug war kind of thing. It has very little to do with the book. But you know what? There is one major change that the movie has that the book doesn't have. The character Dizzy in the book is a guy, but in the movie is a female. And you know what? Epic boobage. Epic boobage! What can I say?
Thank you, darling.
I love how they make the villain, you know...
Dr. Elizabeth Veronica Darling.
Elizabeth Veronica Darling. They have to make the villain Southern, though.
It's us. Sergeant Rex Power Cole.
And also, anybody named Sloan is destined to be a villain. Also, I love his chainmail shirt, which is a reference to Bennett from Commando. Commando is like the greatest of all 80s action movies.
Definition of insanity. Darling, you are looking at two genuine Mark IVs. Top of the line. In their day.
Yeah, when they still use X-86s.
Face.
Price of power, boys.
And he's trying to rip off Malik.
Commanded bitch. She's a wildcat in a sack.
Sir.
Let's see.
What
Black
happened?
Reach. Waifu's a
Went
Battle.
off the reservation. It's gotta be a mistake.
I have not seen the Alien 5 script, so I don't know if it's actually any good or not.
The world's been floundering something.
Nuked Canada! Oh my god!
Way, gentlemen.
Big loss. Oh, no, never mind. I'm not gonna say that.
Our government talks reconciliation with the Red Menace. But I have a means to redress the balance.
Rex. He's lost it, man.
He's gone woke! No, he hasn't. He's much less annoying than anyone in the woke crowd.
Sorry, sir.
Although, with that chainmail shirt, I don't know. I think we need to check what his hair looks like. Because he could have a man bun under that beret. Also, that beret reminds me of something. One of the Mythbusters died. Grant Imahara is dead, apparently. It's like, how do you die at age 49?
We're way too independent.
That was a Velmet? Huh. Speaking of AKs, the AK video is done, and it's going to be uploaded tomorrow.
Ooh, yeah. Anyone can draw the line or be taken offline.
Oh! He hit him so hard, he lost his bandana.
You are dead. I imprinted you Mark IVs with all my combat savvy, right? Tell you what, I'm giving you a shot at the brass ring, boy.
For being, you know, just 2D sprites,
Briar Patch, come in.
it still is actually had more emotion than a lot of other games.
Who is this?
Dr. Elizabeth Darling. I keyed into your comm when I was examining you. Someone's cut you off from Briar Patch.
Let's see.
What the hell was that?
I'm sending you
I think they probably
coordinates
forgot
to
about
the
that.
location.
And why should I
But yeah, like
trust
Grant
you?
Imahara, he wasn't even like 50 yet.
Oh. Okay, Doc,
Now,
what's the plan?
I liked him in Mythbusters well enough, but he played a really good Sulu in a Star Trek fan production called Star Trek Continues. Like, he totally nailed it. I wonder if he died from the corona, or if or something more tragic than that. But he always struck me as a cool guy. Much more approachable than some of the others. Let's see. I never really cared too much for the Tyranids in 40K. I mean, they're just a super bug enemy. I like something with a little more nuance. I actually am, once again, quite impressed by Christopher Nuttall. I'm just completely binging all of his library. At least he didn't stick his hand in it. And there's the Blood Dragon. It is an absolutely cool design. I love the fact that like they're fucking neon. Although I'm not sure how much nutrition they're gonna get out of cyborg bodies, but whatever.
Dr. Darling mentioned they possess poor eyesight.
Because of course they possess poor eyesight. Why wouldn't they?
The creature is emitting bioradiation. I've calibrated your scanner to alert you to their presence.
And we're just gonna sneak around here. Killing these things is not easy. You need the Cobra assault cannon to actually work. Because like these guys just take ridiculous amounts of damage. Seeing as how they're dragons and all, but they can't fly. More like a Drake. Far Cry Blood Drake. Now that'd be kind of, I don't know. Dragon just sounds cooler than Drake. Let's see. Adam and Jamie from Mythbusters, they are very serious looking people. They're not the kind of joking around, but I always actually like the Jamie Heineman guy a lot more. Just because he looked like he did not want to put up with everyone's shit. I don't know what it is about people like that I find kind of amusing. And Adam just seemed like, in real life, he seems kind of obnoxious, but I still like the show well enough. The other, you know, people in the show just weren't that memorable. Oh, you don't see me. You want to get the heart. Shots at the heart. You're too late. Give a bad name. But yeah, Grant was actually one of my favorites on there. But I still preferred him as Sulu. You don't see me. You don't see me. I have a tiny bush near me. I am totally stealthy. Totally stealthy. Brain aneurysm? Damn. That is, harsh. Ugh. The human body. It is our greatest strength and our greatest weakness. Alright, now we want to try to sneak past literally everything. Because we're like level 0 and don't even have a rifle. Don't even have a pistol! You know, I never really got into Friday the 13th. I think Jason X is part of that series. Or that, yeah, Jason is Friday the 13th, Mike is Halloween. Shows you how much I remember from that series. I don't like slashers, I just find them boring.
Reminder. Throw a cyber heart at the markers I've indicated.
Really? I never would have guessed. And they're going to use their Technicolor blaster, phase plasma pulse blasters to get them. Now, evidently in Mythbusters, Adam and Jamie didn't really like each other, which I can kind of see that. I can see that. I think one of my favorite episodes of theirs, though, was the one where they built the ejection seat. That's the one. Because they actually got an ejection seat in a car to work, which I find kind of surprising. And they were actually able to hide it. The big problem with Mythbusters and any show like that is it's all over dramatized, and you know it's fake. And I just whoa.
The scientists. Now if you want a shot at Sloan, you need to secure the garrisons for
Don't set me on fire.
Detect
Yeah, that's the flame war, right?
a bunker that you can use.
But yeah, I don't really like that over-dramatized reality show crap. Oh yeah, the neon bow that I used a grand total of once or twice in the entire game because the rifle's just so much better. Come on, climb through there!
From the overlook.
Personally, I just find TV to... With the advent of the internet and YouTube and all the rest, TV is 100% obsolete. At least to me it is, because when you look at like a TV show, like an actual TV show, it is so over dramatized. It's so well, cheesy's not a bad thing, but like everything's got to be dramatic. It's like, imagine like if you actually had a live stream on TV. It's like, and now Jitteros is going to shoot a bow or shoot an arrow at an enemy. And it's like, and then cut to commercial. Does he hit him? Dun dun dun! It's like, oh god, just please don't make me sit through that shit. He hit it! Whoa! Then the music plays. I have never even heard of Forged in Fire. ARGs or horror channels. I don't watch either one. Let's see. Beyond Scared Straight. Never even heard of it. I try to watch TV as little as possible. Like, literally, the only time I ever even look at a TV is when I'm walking right by it. And they've already spotted me. Oh no, John has been spotted. What will he do now? It's like, then there's cut to another commercial where they try to sell you fucking MyPillow. I mean, I get that the story of the MyPillow guy is great and all, but it's like, you know, those commercials are obnoxious. And stab him. I would like to have a firearm, please. I didn't know I had a backpack. Okay, let's... Oh, I'll probably have to buy it or something. Or did I pick up a weapon? No, I did not. Brilliant. Oh no, did John pick up a weapon? Check back after these messages. Messages? At least it's not commercials. And there are frame drops. I wonder what the problem could be. One moment, ladies and gentlemen. Is this doing DirectX 11? It better be. Yeah, it is doing DirectX 11. I don't know what it is. It is computer annoyance. Basically what happened with that review is neither Rain nor myself had time to watch the other half and do it. So, yeah. We just weren't able to sit down and... Those things take a long time to do. So, it just kind of ran out of time, and then it just kind of, well, didn't get a chance to do any more of it. I'd like to go back and actually do the other half, because it's a really good anime. And it kind of sucks that it is one of the more obscure ones out there. I suppose... It's a real-life prison. Oh yeah, I've heard about that. I don't know how well stuff like that actually works. Because at the end of the day, those kids know they're going to be able to leave. And it's not like they're going to let the inmates actually do anything. Although I imagine they're going to probably stop doing such things these days, because that might be offensive to somebody. Because as we all know, criminals are great and all, as we can see. From all the defund police this and... Ugh. And just when you think it can't get any dumber, that reminded me. When you think it can't get any dumber, traffic stops. Now, anyone who actually knows anything about, well, life, knows how dangerous traffic stops actually are. Well, Berkeley is gonna have, not gonna have the cops do the traffic stops. Oh no, that's the recast. Instead, they're gonna have,
I headed him off.
oh, what was it? Social justice officers do it. And I don't think they're going to have... I don't think they're going to be flushed with candidates. That's what I'm thinking, because... Damn.
And I'm on my way.
Damn. Because it's like, how stupid can these people be? I mean, I get that it's Berkeley and all, but... Like, that's pretty dumb even for them. But whatever. Welcome to the space future of 2020. At least actually I was gonna say at least give us some cyborgs. But just last night, I was scrolling through my YouTube recommendations. Those things are actually not as bad as you might think. I found a lot of mods with those. And I discovered a YouTube channel of this guy literally building himself a cyborg hand. And it works! It's like, oh my god, it's the future. It is literally a cyborg hand. I do not know what the video is called, but it does exist. And it's like a little hand, like, it's made out of metal. He still has his thumb, but he doesn't have his fingers. And it works! It's crazy. It's literally, it's like a real-life Iron Man. Let's see. Very nice. Emperor Snoke, whatever it is. Alien Campaign, ABB2. And yeah, anytime you play an Alien campaign in any game, it's going to be a bit disorienting. For me, I don't really care that much about Dragon Age 3 and Dead Space 3 being added to Steam because you still have to use that goddamn Origin software. So it's like, it's cool that it's on Steam, but you still have to have Origin, and I never was a big fan of Origin. And yes, I can see that happening. Bionic B3. It even sounds cool. And it does look like a real-life Terminator arm. You know, if I actually lost my arm and had to have one of those, I'd like to have like a little fake plastic hand for it, just so I could rip it off Terminator style. I think it'd be the most awesome thing ever. What would be even more awesome is if I could keep my hand. At least this hand. Although this is my shooting hand, it's not one of the other important hands. But anyway, enough about that. Now, speaking of the old other hand, I ended up discovering or reminding myself of something's existence by checking the old Prawn Hub. The Relic exists. That is an obscure film that nobody cares about, that I had completely forgotten of for years, but it's something I do recommend checking out because it is a... Imagine Alien, but in a museum. And it gave rise to the Pendergast book series, which is all about an FBI agent that is basically a combination of Mulder and Scully into one character.
Perhaps a living fossil from the early Cretaceous.
I am a fan of GOG.
Dragons, BDs for short. When Sloane drank their blood, it supercharged.
And yeah, the characters are kind of bland in Dragon Age Inquisition. I'm still trying to finish that because I really enjoyed the first game, but it's been like 6 months and I still haven't gotten back to it.
Making him even more powerful.
And one ugly motherfucker.
Mully.
You helping Sloane?
Pendergast actually has like a whole giant book series that's still going on today, although I found him to be kind of dull.
We were using the rockets to test biochemical payloads of the Dragon's
Because, you know what, if you drop...
As in more red spears? How many?
Red spears, eh?
No, a lot. I don't think Sloane is interested.
Oh, that reminds me of another early 2000s,
That's why you went
2020s future movie called Codename Phoenix. I don't think that's even on YouTube. The only thing I remember, there are several things about that movie I remember. Number one, I thought the Asian chick was hot. Number two, there was a bus with a billboard on it that said Britney Spears comeback tour. I don't think that's gonna happen. Number three, the plot was about stopping immortality serum from falling into the wrong hands.
No, Lady Liberty. She taught me that winners don't use drugs.
God, I love that line. And lastly, that in the future you can't get bullets because sleeper bullets exist. You can shoot somebody with one from a regular gun, and apparently it puts people to sleep. It was beautiful. And also, hot dogs are $40 because inflation.
You got yourself a deal, Doc. What about you? Are you safe here?
Just as long as Sloane doesn't realize I'm helping you.
Yeah, and Relic did kind of go on a bit. I liked the fact, though, that it had a tragic villain in the monster, though, which was pretty neat. And Mass Effect Andromeda. I have not played it yet. That's the thing. It just does not interest me all that much. New hostage rescue available. Okay, so our objective is to shoot one of every animal as of today. What time is it? We've been going 40 minutes. Alright.
Time to do this.
Well, so long as you don't go woke, Rex Power, you probably won't go broke. But yeah, Relic was pretty good. It still was kind of dull in places. Kind of went on a bit too long. But... oh... don't railroad me, game. I don't remember being railroaded. Mass Effect Andromeda. I do wonder if it is as bad as people say it is, or if there might be some saving grace to it. I do not know. And we get a suppressor. Oh, we get a can. Okay, where are we going? Not that. Is that it? Okay, there we go. We get a can. I can't wait. I can't wait. I don't really see the point of getting a suppressor. I mean, I know they're popular now, but it's just... it seems like it's a lot of effort just to make your rifle or pistol a little quieter. And since most of my firearms can't even take them, it's utterly pointless to me.
Omega Force cyber soldiers quietly, or they will terminate the hostages with lethal prejudice.
Or just the one hostage. Okay, so we gotta actually be sneaky. Or you can do what I like to do and just run in and shoot everything and protect the hostage.
20s or nerd rocks are good for distracting cyberhuman enemies.
Actually, wait, let's jump up here. Come on, jump! Jump! Jump, you bastard! Ah, well, fuck it. Okay, where is the scientist? There he is. Of course they have to have that guy right there. You know, I don't remember that happening. That's actually pretty neat. Okay, crap. Got stuck in a wall, and... doesn't matter. How about I shoot your head off your head?
The hostage is under attack. Protect the cyber nerd.
The cyber nerd. Do we know he's really nerdy, or is he just pretending? Is he a simp? I finally learned that simps are a thing. I'm not surprised that they are, but... man... somehow, people in the modern era have made, you know, giving money to what are effectively electronic equivalents of strippers somehow utterly, I can't get the word now.
I'm sorry.
Emasculating.
I'm sorry. I disproved your existence.
There is nobody left alive. I've literally shot everyone. Oh, I gotta talk to this guy. Okay. Interact? I don't want to interact with humanity. Oh, we have to hold X. Yeah.
To use the patented Kobayashi Corporation instant
And I'm doing well, Hunter McDaniel. I actually get a day off after 3 straight weeks of working. That's always great. Oh, Speed. One day I need to actually do a video on that at some point. Speed is one of the most 90s movies of all time. And you know what? The one thing I remember about it was, as a kid, I really thought Sandra Bullock was extremely hot. It's sort of a commonality with me. If the chick in the movie was hot, I was happy. If she was not, I was not.
Bigger guns make me safer.
Well, Rex, bigger guns don't necessarily mean anything. What you want is effective guns. Please care about 2 of the characters. Great banter. Well, at least Andromeda wasn't that bad. 2 female wrestlers. $395. Oh my god. Really? Oh, Footprints of Thunder. I actually forgot about those. Yeah, I do need to review those at some point. For those who don't know what Footprints of Thunder is, assuming I'm thinking of the right book series, it's basically a book series based upon a short story called A Sound of Thunder, which was written by a guy whose name I don't remember. Ray Bradbury, I think, wrote that? Basically, a bunch of people... okay, now I remember. Alright, so it's a 1950s future where people go travel through time to shoot animals. and one of the hunts goes awry, and somebody steps on a butterfly, and it completely ruins the future. Somehow. And it's not a bad short story. And the books basically take that and go forward with that. So the guy who steps on the butterfly steals the time machine and leads the main characters on a chase through time. Assuming I'm thinking of the right one. And they go to a bunch of different timelines, and from what I remember, it was actually pretty good. But I have not read that book series, and I can guarantee you well over a decade. Well over a decade. That was one of those great little finds that I had at a half-price books, where they were just all there. These days, pretty much all that's obsolete, because you just go on Amazon and get them all for like $3, but still. Back in the old days, you had to work for your books. Okay, so what we want to do... Did they give me a mission that I have to actually care about? I don't think so. Okay, what we want to do is we want to try to shoot one of every monster, or, I mean, animal. He's coming right at us! And if you actually had a real 47 gauge, that thing would be very, very small. Because the higher the gauge, the smaller the round, or something along those lines. Basically, a 12 gauge will be bigger than a 16 gauge. I never really got into Harlan Ellison. Footprints isn't? Wow, I completely forgot. Original Fear. Yes, I have played the Original Fear. I started playing it on the Xbox 360, and then I got the PC version, which is a bit better. And I do intend to review Fear potentially this year. Maybe. Maybe. I'm not really sure. Shoot the pig! Shoot him! Shoot him! It's not the best hunting rifle. Of that, I can guarantee you. Oh, reach the dam. I remember that. Like, I didn't do that for like hours upon hours. I swear there's frame drops. Or I could just be paranoid of the frame drops. Oh, I know what's happening. I don't have VSync enabled because having VSync enabled fucks up the game. At least it did on one of my graphics cards. I also watched the Sound of Thunder film. It wasn't that great, but eh. Let's see here. Half-price books used to be pretty good, but now, like, you can't get any cheap games there anymore. It's kind of depressing. And once again, with Amazon, it's just kind of pointless. And besides, when you've got like 5 boxes of books, it's like eventually you got to call it quits at some point. That's the one great thing about electronic books. You can fit hundreds upon hundreds of books on one SD card. Actually, probably thousands upon thousands. Oh, crap. Am I on fire? Yes. And oh, shit! I forgot this was the... I hit X instead of Y, and I almost blew myself up. I almost went full kamikaze. Never mind. That might be the raycast. I want a plasma rifle! This thing's kind of crappy. And I have no ammo. It's like real life. And right now, thanks to the ammo-ocalypse, in real life, there is no ammo. Like, I just finally found some goddamn 22 ammo. And 223s, don't make me laugh, that's gone. Unless you want to pay, like, a ridiculous amount of money for 223. Where once you could get, like, 500 rounds for, like, a little over $100. Now it's, like, $200 to $300. It's insane. But then when you got disband and, defund, it's like, well, it makes sense. There's actually some idiot trying to say that it's unfair to defend yourself with an AR. It's like, really now? Really? Isn't the whole point of defending yourself not being fair so that the enemy doesn't, you know, shoot you? Just saying, but whatever. Ooh, blew his head to pieces. And take down.
He was dead tired.
You know, Michael Bienbein, Schwarzenegger did that line better. Why is there not a first-person shooter with Schwarzenegger voicing the main character? I just realized. That would, like, I think that would sell. I'd play it.
Heartbroken.
The big problem with Fear on the 360 was it had a very low frame rate. But it did have that little instant action gameplay mode that let you just, we have to go save the scientists so they're not murdered. Grenade. Oop, I did not mean to blow that guy up. He was coming right at me. I swear. He was coming right at me. Alright, let's get some... Actually, we got a decent amount of... Oh, I think it's like $4,000 though to get that plasma upgrade. I'm not sure if I'll be able to do that this stream. I want to try though. It's just finding all the animals in time. Predator hunting grounds. Oh crap! He is coming right at us. It isn't just a lie this time. Well, thank you, scientist dude, and we will pilfer him. Apparently, the tiger had $9 on him. That is odd, but whatever. No, I have not heard that song. See, the problem with listening to novelty songs, though, is my memory is too good, and they'll get stuck in my head. Because I inadvertently heard a song that has some rather, shall we say, ribald lyrics, and it's stuck in my head now. And I do not want it to be stuck in my head. And I cannot repeat it here because, YouTube. But it was from a random video I came across called Discord Sings, Bismarck. And it's basically people cutting together a bunch of songs, and the, shall we say, rather ribald song was in there, and I didn't mute it in time, and now it's stuck in my head. That's why I cannot look at things or listen to things that are extremely memorable, because they just won't leave my brain. Having a good memory is both a gift and a curse at times. It just depends on what you see, I suppose. Let's see, saying people don't own guns. Well, my God. See, I don't think those statements really make sense anymore in 2020, because, okay, I can understand saying that, like, in the 90s, I guess, when crime was going down, but now? Really? That just seems like, that sounds insane. It's like, okay, there's no cops anymore because they're the Raycast. So, oh man, I'm being completely eradicated. Chuck grenade. Oh, I'm out of grenade. No, I'm not. So it's like, what are you supposed to do? Just die? I've often wondered like that. I've often wanted to ask that question of people. It's like, okay, guns bad, cops bad. So like when a criminal attacks you, you're just supposed to die. I mean, you're not going to find too many people buying that. That's for sure. And I am being shot by everything. Oh, you're gonna make me bleed, eh, dude?
So I gave him 5 back.
Yeah, it's very catchy.
Looks like the heart of the matter.
Go away, blood dragon. You don't see me. You don't see me. Let's see. Unlimited versions. And I missed some of that. I'm trying to play the game and read that at the same time. I always saw it was when I lived in Texas. And Predator Hunting Grounds, it's on PS4, and it is basically just Friday the 13th, but with Predator. At least that's what it looks like to me. And I'm sure I would have a lot of fun with it for like 5 minutes, and then I would end up getting tired of it, and it would just... I don't even own a PS4, so it would end up being kind of a wasted game, at least for me. Because Friday the 13th got pretty old pretty fast. I'm hoping there's a PC port of Hunting Grounds, because that would actually... If I could get that game for like $10 or even 20, I would play it. But it is not good enough for me to even consider putting the money into a PS4. Okay, Space Tiger, you don't want to eat me. Here's some lead that will cure all your hunger needs. Really, dude? Really? Ooh, can I stab him? No, I cannot. Oh, come on! I should totally be in his dead zone.
Never kill him first date.
Let's see.
Squishy.
Let's see. Oh wait, did they take down the Texas sign? I did not know that. I know they tried to burn down the Alamo and people defended it, but I didn't know they were trying to take that down. I do wonder, though, if they're going to try to take down Stevie Ray Vaughan's sign. For those who don't know, Stevie Ray Vaughan is was a musician that was pretty famous in Texas, and there's a bronze statue of him in Austin, Texas, where he primarily played. He's a blues musician, and I wonder if they're going to say that he's the Raycast because that's cultural appropriation or something. I sincerely hope they haven't tried to topple a statue and I just don't know about it yet. Seeing as how they took down goddamn Abe Lincoln. That still pisses me off. It's like, Abe Lincoln? You hate... You know, it's like, what? How does... When they take down Abe Lincoln, you know that they are totally not trying to be anti-Raycast. Okay, I will save this scientist simply because I want to be... That's one thing I do like about this. This is not a mod. This DLC. Just random battles you can get into and you actually have reason to do so. Also, why can't I steal one of their plasma rifles? Oh yeah, we also have the shotty, but like in real life, yeah, the shotgun's cool and all, but, and this is a big flabby bum. Oh crap, no! Ah, damn it. It's just not, doesn't have the range. In fact, do you really think a gun will change their mind? Oh man, I've not seen that ad. It's like, yes, it will change their mind. It might even change the location of their mind too. My God. Let's see. Oh, it's on PC. I did not know that. I might need to look at that. Oh yeah, I recognize that book. I thought that had something to do with Sound of Thunder, though. And yes, Ross, dude, they took it down in Boston. It was unanimous. Unanimous. And they took down Theodore Roosevelt as well in New York City. And Fear is definitely a game well worth playing. I don't think I'll be able to finish this today just because I'm getting somewhat fatigued. But yeah, Fear is pretty good. The story could be better, but the gameplay certainly is good. The graphics look great, especially on PC. The 360 it looked okay, but PC looks even better. Like those shadows still look pretty good even in 2020. What's attacking me? I'm being attacked by a giant bird. I was literally killed by a goddamn cassowary. That location of their mind. Now, I just don't know what they're going to do when it comes to statues. They're also smashing up churches and church statues and shit like that. It's like, because that's the Raycast. See, my big problem with all this rioting, though, is how the media still portrays it as peaceful. When I can see multiple videos of these peaceful protesters bashing people over the head with hammers and shit like that, it's like, is that the hammer of peace? Are they like breaking the skull to let all the happiness and joy go in or something? Because like, what? And they wanted to take down a statue of St. Louis. I didn't even know St. Louis was a guy. I did not even know that. I want to take that down. What does that have to do with anything? And of course they were like beating people up, you know, because that's great to see. That's one thing. It's like, okay. So you've got these so-called peaceful protesters beating up people that are literally praying in front of a statue. Because that's totally peaceful, man. It also doesn't help that I'm reading a number of a book now where there's a bunch of insane protesters wanting to surrender to aliens. It's one of those kind of books. It's like, wow, so that's kind of happening now, just without aliens. Oh crap, this is not where you want to be with a pistol. Yep, and I died. So, yeah, but the modern woke crowd always fails. I would hate to live in Portland, though. Like, I actually wanted to move to Oregon for a little while. Okay, so when 2020 started up, I was like, yeah, you know, I might move to Oregon. It looks great, because I've watched a number of Paul Harrell videos. And And Oregon looks beautiful. But Portland exists in Oregon. I'm not gonna do that, because, oh dear, Portland is like still like, there's like 50 straight days of nothing but violence there. It's like, oh dear, I don't really want to have to deal with that. Oh crap, no. And of course he saw that. And I'm totally not ready to kill this guy just yet. You don't see me. You don't see me. Hey, let's try to kill him before the stream is over. Or not! Let's try to... Oh. I enjoyed Far Cry 1. I've completed Far Cry 3. And that was it. I never really got into Far Cry 4. Or even Far Cry 5. I do plan on playing Far Cry 5 at some point. But so far it's just been Far Cry 1, 3, and this one. Oh, and 2, but I didn't enjoy 2 all that much. I did finally slog all the way through 2 on the 360. Oh yeah, Canada. You know, Canada actually is one of those interesting countries. It's got a lot... The people seem fairly friendly, but, like, it looks like an... to me, it looks like a country full of Portlands in many respects, or like a countrywide Berkeley. I think it just comes down to, like, the rural people are fairly cool, but everyone else is kind of nutty. But I've actually known some people from Canada, and they're actually pretty cool people. Let's see. Michigan. You know what's kind of funny about Michigan? The only thing I know about Michigan is I think Home Improvement was set there. It's like, it's one of those states I've never really given much thought. Because I've only been to a small number of states, and they've all been in the western United States. I've not been to a single state east of Texas. Because I've been to Arizona, New Mexico, Nevada, and California. Ironically enough, California is the only state that I've stayed in for more than a couple of days. Because, of course, it would be California. California didn't seem that bad, though, when I was there, but that was, like, in 2012. So, there's that, and I wasn't around San Francisco or Los Angeles. One thing I found weird about California was a lot of sidewalks. You don't see that in Texas. It's like, you either drive or pray, pretty much, because the drivers are insane. Like, utterly insane. That's one of the things I'm happy about when it comes to working from home. I don't have to drive around all those insane people. And yes, Far Cry 1 was really ahead of its time. Far Cry 5 story, I think that, wasn't that a post-apocalyptic thing? Where, like, there's, like, this crazy religious leader that's trying to kill everyone, or something like that. It seemed interesting enough, but I just haven't had the time to play it.
Garrison mega shields deactivated. Garrison mega shields deactivated.
Yeah. Oh, wait, I might actually let, No, you idiot! Okay, I might actually let them weaken the dragon, the old dragon, and then try to kill him before the episode is over. You know, I gotta say, that is one aspect of Texas that I do dislike. It is too fucking hot. And it's too humid. And there's too many bugs. But you know what? Whenever I watch this shit on TV, well, not TV, but watch videos on all the insane, you know, rioting and shit. I'm like, well, at least I don't have to worry about that in Texas. Although that's not true. In Dallas, there are some Antifa people pulling some shit. What the hell? Did I do that? I'm going to assume I did. See, that's one thing I liked about Utah, is that even in the middle of June, it was actually pretty cool. So much, it was so cool, in fact, that I was able to leave the window open when the AC went down. It's like, you try that in Texas, you are just dead. Like, I remember the AC went out like 2 years ago, and like, it was the worst experience like ever. Like, it is so hot that you kind of float. It's just like, there's no way to be comfortable in that kind of heat and humidity. It's terrible. And theoretically, historically, the reason why people actually started moving to Texas was because of the invention of the air conditioner. So yeah, I would like to live in a state that doesn't have insane rioters and is actually cooler, but every state I look at has insane rioters, so yeah. Which kind of sucks. Oh, it wasn't the mace game. And the main guy is just a minor antagonist? Huh. Yeah, I like the antagonist in Far Cry 3 wasn't that great, though. Outside of Voss, the main guy was just kind of generic. Ooh, we might be able to get this Blood Dragon. Might being the operative word. This is a very interesting bolt-action rifle! He thinks it's a semi-auto that... Oh, come on! He shot me through the floor! Not fair. Oh, 2 weeks? That's just horrible. I barely put up with it for a day. Thankfully, it was an easy enough fix. There was this little water pipe that got... Or this little pipe that got filled up with water, and that made the thing shut down. It was literally a 5-second operation of running the air compressor once we figured out what it was. It's like... It'd be nice if we'd figured it out sooner, though. Let's see. We're going for an hour, 6 minutes. Okay, we can't kill blood dragons yet, and I want to actually accomplish something. Oh, crap. That's not what I wanted. Stop shooting me! Oh. Okay, I need to actually play this game, like, legitimate. Instead of just dying all the time. I actually did consider getting one of these lever-action shotguns once. Because Century Arms sells a Chinese replica of the Browning lever-action shotgun. I forget what the actual fit... Oh! That was awesome. That's one of the things I love about games like this. Ooh, perhaps if I were to shoot you and then take your vehicle-mounted weapon, I will probably get blown up before I can start shooting at him. Just don't stop firing! No, 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 don't! You know, I think that's a good stopping point for tonight. Oh, I think I'm too tired. No, 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 no. I'm not giving up yet. I'm not giving up yet. We can at least take over that garrison. We're going to take over one garrison before I call it a day. Because I'm not going to have these goddamn blood dragons get the better of me. Now, in Mass Effect, there actually is a blood dragon armor set that is DLC because, you know, why not charge for these things? I think I got the DLC armors for free because I pre-ordered the game. I'm not entirely sure. But the Edmonton Blood Dragons. But Canada at least has blood dragons. Now, is that actually a native species or not? I don't know. Alright, we're just gonna... Don't crash. This is not as bad as when I was trying to drive in that Operation Flashpoint game. Where literally, I hit a rock, did a flip through the air, and then crashed. Yeah, fuck it. Just walk. Okay, let's see here. Oh yeah, the brain cage blood dragons. We'll get to those guys a little bit later. Because we need actual weapons. Don't
New objective located.
Well, we're still...
No enemies functioning.
Consider it done.
I should not have done this one, because it's gonna be hard. Check the chat real quick. Lever-action shotgun, same for the Dragon Hearts. And yeah, Far Cry has kind of stayed the test of time. Any mill sims? I played Operation Flashpoint Dragon Rising and never really got anywhere in the game because it was really difficult. Okay, we can't actually kill that guy because we do not have the weapons for that, but we can get in here at least and take this over, which is just as good. Mill sim is something I never really got into because I don't really have the patience for that, and I thought he couldn't get in there! Hide me! Hide me! Just hide me. Because I just don't really have the patience for it. I just prefer, you know, arcade-styled games more than anything else. I did try to play DayZ once, back when DayZ was still a mod. And I found it to be really frustrating. But I knew that going in. Oh, crap. I stab him! I totally meant to do that. I totally wasn't really lucky. Let's see here. Side missions. Project IGI. Man, that is a game I haven't thought of in years. That is a game that my grandfather used to play a lot. I think that was one of those half-price books games that we got for like in a compilation of like old-ass games. Heal me, heal me. Ah, damn it. I'm just gonna assume I'm tired and that's why I'm sucking so much. Alright, that is a good stopping point, ladies and gentlemen. See, actually playing this for a live stream is somewhat difficult because I can't just be slow and methodical since I'm gonna be here all night. Oh! Alright, ladies and gentlemen, that is Far Cry Blood Dragon. We will come back to this game next week. Eventually we'll get back to 13 as well, and then eventually Doom Eternal, but I've been more of a mood to play this game than anything else. Next time we're going to try to kill one of every animal on the island and get the Phase Plasma Pulse Rifle and basically become an avatar of Khorne. But until then, I am General Lotz wishing you good, Blood Dragon, whatever makes you happy.